I've recently added these nice buttons to the sidebar of my blog, and I've been getting lots of questions on how I created them, so I decided to make this a video. I'm not going to show you how I made the Twitter button, and you could use what I show you to make basically any button you want. So you're going to need Adobe Photoshop. This is a new version, CS4, but you could use any version, it's very similar. Go to File, New, then enter the size you want. In my case it was 275 on 60 pixels. Click OK. Next go to the rounded rectangle tool and make a rectangle almost the size of the area. Now you have a new layer with the rectangle on it. Right click the layer and select the blending options. Go to drop shadow, set the opacity to 33%, set the distance to 0, spread 0, and the size 10 pixels. Next go to inner shadow, set the opacity to 20%, and set this to 0 and the size to 10 pixels. No, 84 pixels. Sorry about that. So next go to bevel and emboss. Make the size 0 and make both of these opacities 50%. Okay, so the options that I showed you now are what I use, but you could just play around with it and see what happens. Have fun with it. So next go to gradient overlay and double click the gradient. Now you're going to select the colors that your button will be in. So in my case it was 2 shades of red, so I'm going to choose a darker shade of red, and then double click this side and choose a lighter shade of red. For the best results I recommend using the 2 shades of the same button, but you can do whatever you want, just test around and see what works for you. So click OK, and we now have our button. So now we're going to add a nice glossy effect. So create a new layer. So you have a new layer here. Now select the layer with the rectangle. Select the rectangle Mercury tool. Hold the control key on your keyboard and select the little picture here on the layer. It will select your button. Next go to the new layer. Hold the Alt key on your keyboard and make a rectangle around half of the button, and it will select the upper half. And then go to the paint bucket tool. Make sure you have the white color chosen and fill the area with white. Now change the opacity of the layer to 18%. 18. Okay. That will give it a nice glossy effect. Again, you can play around with it and see what works for you. So now we're actually going to add the logo and the text. What I did, I just searched Google Images for Twitter logo. Chose a nice one of the logos here. Went into it, saved it to my computer. Okay, I'm going to drag it to Photoshop. Open it here. We now have to delete the white background so it won't show on our button. So you want to right click this layer and select duplicate layer. Delete the original background layer and select the magic wand tool. And make sure the tolerance is 5 and choose and click anywhere in the white area around the logo and click the delete button on your keyboard. Now we'll get rid of the background so we only have the logo. Next we're going to make it smaller, so because it's a lot bigger than our button. So image size. I'm going to make the width 250. You could change it. I'll show you how to change it after to make it the right size. Okay, so now we're going to drag this. You're going to select the layer and drag it onto our button. Okay, so it's actually underneath, so you have to drag it up to over the rest of the layers. So it's still really big. So what you have to do is hold the control key on your keyboard and click T. You'll now be able to change the size. Hold the shift key to keep the ratio and drag the logo until you have the size you want. This looks about right. You want to select this tool and drag it to the right place that you want. Next, we're gonna use the text tool and make a nice text box here, and enter follow me, or oops, too small there, to make it a little bigger, and follow me, and we're going to select this tool and move it. Okay, so I'm going to move it to where we want it, right here. You could use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move it more precisely. You could basically write anything you want. My line stalk me, I trademark that, so you can't use that. Just joking, feel free to use it. So that's basically it. You're going to want to do File, Save As, save it in any format you want. I recommend PNG, but I don't really understand those stuff, so just whatever you think. Save it and upload it to your website. That's it. I hope that helped, and if you have any questions or problems, just go onto my blog and I'll be happy to help. Have a great day.